So it's no secret that Crystal Dynamics is planning a new era for Lara Croft. How far the adventures will go, we can't say for a fact. But what we do know is that we're getting two new games in very different points in time that need an impactful delivery to lay down the foundation for this new era if we're to see it. So you're here because the question has been begged. Why are we getting two Tomb Raider games and how do they relate? Well, I suggest you get comfortable because we're about to break down the trailers, how they relate, and where the company may plan on taking this new era of Lara Croft. Let's start with Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis. I'll make this quick. Legacy of Atlantis is a stake straight to the hearts of the classic era fans, bringing back the original 1996 Tomb Raider while reimagining the adventure in a modern gaming world. Using Unreal Engine 5, bringing back the nostalgic Lara Croft look, familiar environments, and gear including old and new. We know little about the game itself, but devs plan on balancing out the game to be playable by modern gaming standards, while still holding the 96 entries DNA, or honoring the spirit of the classics, as Noah Hughes, studio creative director, says. This year marks the 30th anniversary since Lara Croft's debut, and with co-development from Flying Wild Hog, Crystal Dynamics saw no better way of honoring that than to release Legacy of Atlantis this year. Now with that being said, how does Legacy of Atlantis relate to Catalyst? Look at it as the studio's way of giving their icon a fresh start, taking us back to base, seeing how fans will receive the delivery of what was a concern amongst many players, and giving classic fans a more reasonable experience with the game that started it all, and a stronger introduction to the classic debut for fans who weren't there for it. This is merely a reward to players saying that they've been listening, not trying to make some hybrid Lara or destroying themselves trying to please everyone, but finding that happy medium that should refine our heroine and bringing the fan base closer again. I'll argue to even call it a pilot if you will. And this brings me back to Catalyst. It's just my speculation that with Tomb Raider Catalyst clearly being the larger project of the two, it was possibly the intent to have that be our Tomb Raider game for the 30th anniversary. But with enough controversy and vocal fans, it would be smarter to shadow reveal LOA and see if they can meet fans' expectations. As I said, pilot the UE5 Amazon game, landing that on the year of the original's anniversary, and buying time to optimize a game that they truly want to feature. You know, that's just my spec. What I'm truly here to say is that initially fans are showing more interest in Legacy of Atlantis, and with that playing out, the game has also received well, then that would mean you had at least satisfied the market of classic fans, allowing them to relive the experience while not having to endure the things that frustrated them the most, and making that the first impression on any newcomers. Putting your name in the hat and literally rolling out the red carpet for your attempt at rejuvenating the franchise with Tomb Raider Catalyst, making more seasoned fans happy and offering that continuity to players who resonated with the later era of Tomb Raider releases at the same time. So to put it simply, there's multiple reasons as to why this release order is a good idea. Now, with Legacy of Atlantis standing as its own reboot, it's separate, of course, from the Survivor trilogy. It means, as in the Survivor trilogy serves as an origin story for Lara Croft before she had the skin we recognize in Tomb Raider 96, or LOA in this case. Imagine the Survivor trilogy was produced before Tomb Raider 1 through 6. Then the Legend era is unspoken, and we wake up to a Lara Croft with all of those adventures under her belt. How much time is supposed to have passed isn't clear at the moment, but what we know for sure is this boots up after these experiences, and I imagine with the timeline being in order. Following a hopefully successful Legacy of Atlantis, Crystal Dynamics will want to make an even greater statement with this Catalyst release. That's another key factor in releasing both of these games in this order and on Unreal Engine 5. They want to make it clear to the fans that these two games feature indeed the same Lara Croft in two different points of her life. And not only is this a continuation of Legend, but it is also a fact that lore from the Survivor Trilogy reboot is now included in the same universe as its predecessors in an attempt to mitigate confusion and controversy. No, the Survivor Trilogy was not created to unify the timeline. They're simply running with what they have and fitting it in, all to better their goal in unifying the fanbase and timeline, making room for a potential new era of Tomb Raider games. Bear with me if my voice gets to fading out on you. I swear I had a chest cold for the last 3 months. It seems like Crystal Dynamics does plan on taking things further, starting with these two games, with Catalyst continuing the now again main storyline. What we've shared barely scratches the surface of what's ahead for Lara between these two incredible titles. We can't wait to reveal more soon. Again, Noah Hughes, studio creative director at Crystal Dynamics. So this leads players to assume the team already has plans to continue Lara Croft's adventures, with this game emphasized as a starting point of a new era. So with that being said, we at least know that they plan on introducing a seasoned Lara Croft that's supposed to be a combination of the ones we already know and what they consist of in one, and then taking that Lara to experiment with new mechanics, gameplay styles, and upgraded features, with early Lara from Legacy of Atlantis being the face of unification for the new era that Crystal Dynamics is planning for Tomb Raider. Now, it seems like they want to play with some open world stuff with Catalyst, and I'm not too sure how I feel about that, but that's a topic for another day. Honestly, there's nothing confirming if they want to do a huge open world thing or like a segmented semi-open world type of you dig, but we'll dive deeper into that another time. Most importantly, time has passed since the Legend era, and this entry takes off sometime in the present since then, making it so that Catalyst, rather than being a new origin story, builds forward from the Legend timeline. all following the storyline of the Survivor trilogy, with Legacy of Atlantis falling somewhere in the middle, creating a franchise that stretches from vulnerable beginnings to a seasoned Tomb Raider. And so we're all aware that attempting to please everyone at the same time is a recipe for an identity crisis. Tomb Raider fans have been split about as many times as the franchise had changed lore themselves, leaving some players to feel as if their legend was dying out, and others to believe that the change was necessary. Then of course there's also a section of players who only know Lara for her later games. Fans have not been quiet about their opinions on Tomb Raider, both the good and the bad, about both the classic and the Survivor trilogy eras. And controversy and speculation later, it seems like the devs have been listening with this one. As I've stated previously in the Legacy of Atlantis trailer analysis, which I recommend you check out if you haven't, with this, dropping a reboot, which I'm sure we've had enough of the original game, in this case, may be a necessary strategy, though could be argued cheap and predictable. Also could be the best move they could make at this time to attempt to reignite the classic fans, and not to beat this horse any longer, but give later audiences a smoother experience of the original, potentially gaining traction, all to optimize the release of Catalyst, which will likely be a new Tomb Raider experience for all of us, and if done well, can set the tone and chances for even more Tomb Raider games to come. I'm going into these games with an optimistic but critically honest lens. Fans have primarily received the two trailers well, so again, Crystal Dynamics, you've got our attention, and we're ready to see what you got. After the hiatus, don't let us down. In conclusion, Crystal Dynamics releasing two games back to back is not only considerate of the fan base, but is also strategic and even possibly a necessary step, given that the franchise wants to clear up the identity crisis. With resources to have a team focused on securing Legacy of Atlantis displaying a reimagined past Lara, and another team focusing on the future that Tomb Raider Catalyst plans on laying a foundation for. Great job, gamers out there. Stay vocal and continue to keep things in check so we're able to retain the things that we enjoy. And let's be sure to support those that get it right and make the effort. If you would like to see further analysis on any of these two titles, be sure to catch these two videos right here. If you haven't, see the links in the description after this video. Also, as I said earlier, it looks like Crystal Dynamics is planning to test some open world stuff with Tomb Raider Catalyst. Is the way it sounds based off the way the devs are describing things. That could not be the case. But let me know what your thoughts are on that in the comments, and if you'd like to see me touch on that topic, let's support this video. For those of you that have been supporting the nation, I just want to give a thanks. And for those of you who are new, you're welcome to join the nation. If you enjoy the content and don't want to miss out on anything, don't forget to subscribe. If you hit that like button, it increases the chances someone with a like mindset gets to see this video as well. I hope to be seeing you assassins in the future, and as always, stay blessed.